Hey guys, it's Konpeki here, and in this video I'll be VOD reviewing a software developer from Riot. The first half of the video will be an introduction about how she ended up working for Riot, and she'll also be sharing some tips on how to get Riot Gun Buddy. The latter half of the video will be a VOD review of her playing Killjoy on Ascent. So if you enjoy this type of content, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. And if you are also interested in being a part of my coaching program, link is in the description below. Let's get started. Paul said, who's on Discord? She sounds so effing hot.
Ew.
So hey guys, it's Konpeki here today, and we got Riot Moja. I will be VOD reviewing today. Do you want to give us a quick introduction about yourself?
Sure. I'm Grace. I'm old. This is my first keyboard mouse game. Before this, I played like Stardew Valley and Animal Crossing. But I'm like pretty addicted now.
Like, what is it like working at Riot? How's that been like? Tell us how you got the job.
Actually, I don't know if I told you this, but I was begging for a Riot Gun Buddy on this like corporate workers like application only for like people that work in tech.
Yeah.
And yeah, I got a gun buddy from there, and then I just like started a conversation with an employee, and he really recommended me to apply. So that's kind of how like made the jump. And then yeah, I was part of Konpeki's boot camp, so I actually put that on my resume because I wanted to show how passionate I was about Riot and their IP. And everyone thought it was really funny, like that I did like a super sweaty boot camp. And yeah, it definitely like helped out that I showed a lot of interest in their games and stuff. So yeah.
If you want to get a job at Riot, come join our program. How do you get a gun buddy?
Okay, I think the first tip is to never ask for one. And I know it's really hard because you probably don't get in games with like devs very much, but generally we're advised to like give them for like memorable moments when we're playing Valorant. Or I mean, I've actually know somebody who was playing League and then they gave someone a Valorant gun buddy. Basically just, I mean, be a good wholesome teammate, use comms, like encourage people. You never know when people are gonna like an employee is gonna be on, especially if you queue West Coast. I feel like there's a lot of Riot employees that like
you hear that?
There's probably a higher chance of you like running into a Riot employee if it's like after work West Coast hours, because a lot of people will log on and play.
What's your position at Riot?
Yeah, so I'm a technical producer. So I do Battle Pass and store for all Riot games. So like before every game like created their own store and created their own battle pass. So I do back end engineering. So I'm not charged with the content. I'm just making sure like the functionality itself works. Yeah, so I am doing that. So I don't know if that makes sense.
Tell us maybe like what rank you were when you first started out, like getting coached by me, and then where are you at currently?
Yeah, so I started getting coached by you like when I was probably like closer to Iron 3, like maybe I hit Bronze 1, but I wasn't like consistently there, and now I'm Gold 1. Like I told you, sometimes I even have trouble like jumping on boxes and stuff, like just stuff that's probably very, 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 very basic for other people that have played any type of even like a platform game. Like I just have not played anything that required any coordination, so it's definitely like a steeper curve for me to come and learn fundamentals.
How would you describe like your playstyle?
Pretty conservative, extremely conservative actually.
Okay.
Yeah, I usually play off of my utility and try to stay alive as Sentinel. Oh my gosh, this is so embarrassing.
I like that spot on pistol round because it's just like so hard to shoot with the pistol. People just take so much damage.
Yeah, unfortunately I get owned for like most of this video. So.
Figure that
out.
My
gosh, the Sova dart is my greatest weakness. I can never turn around and shoot it. I just get fully scanned by it every time.
Okay. I mean, that's a very common spot that they shoot like a dart on, right? Like on tree. That's a really like bad dart for him to throw right at the start. Most cases, you can just turn around and shoot it, right? Like he's wasting his arrow there because like his team's not even out yet. Maybe he would want to combo that with like an omen blind. You know, if you feel like you have trouble actually shooting it, you don't actually have to shoot it. You could just hide behind the box and not get scanned. You know, it's much easier for them to figure out where you're playing and collapse on you.
Oh, I got
Ooh. And here, like, you hear the nade, but I'm glad you at least, like, popped it. What I would have maybe tried to do here is instead of just standing in the nade, actually just swinging left. Because just you standing here, like, is what got you killed, right? Since your turret's already shooting and your jet's already playing in market, so it's also really important to kind of know, like, what positions your teammates are playing before, like, the round starts when you're playing CT side. Okay, I have a teammate playing market. Then, you know, like, they could play off of you, your utility, right? Or you could also play off of them as well.
I just missed all these.
It's all good. Oh, they're not even looking at you. Quick tip with the classic, if you're not like kissing them, try to tap just really slowly, like tap, tap, tap. Because the classic gets really inaccurate really fast. So this is something that I would like to kind of point out. Let's look at like this like early round setup. You have all of lane and you can watch the walkout with your turret, right? So Omen, she can just watch B main if she wants or swing off of this turret. I think it's a little overkill to have two people watching it. And if Fade is gonna play A by herself, then ideally she like eyes this or she dogs this to get a little bit of early info. Because if they decide to like drone, they decide to just like run out, they decide to flash her, flash Fade, then like Chamber is not in a position to really help either. And here's the thing, like getting better at Valorant is all about pattern recognition. Recognizing like what enemies tend to do and what the best response is to that. And here's the thing, like this is now your first like buy round. They're probably bonusing. It's like the third round, right? You have to know these kinds of things like across different maps that you play. When you're on a bonus, it's unlikely that they take the mid fight because they have specters, right? And so it's like, I think a little overkill to have this many people mid. I'm not just saying this like because, oh, like I saw them go A. Realistically, like statistically speaking too, most people tend to just like fast hit a site when they're on like a bonus, just trying to work trades. So that's just something to know. And it's good that you started rotating once you saw the Solar Dart. You see how like Fade is already backed up from main to generator, right? But we still haven't really rotated off of mid until she calls it, right? Oh dang, she got ult already. That's really unfortunate, right? Because they just took site really fast and then Omen tried to kind of go in. So Kim tried to go in by herself or just push out, but I don't think she realized that Neon could already be pushed up that fast. So that's again pattern recognition, right? Realizing the things that people can do against you and taking countermeasures. So like for Kim, like she could have just waited a little because she's probably still had her blind too. Chamber's already flanking and whoever's playing Chamber should be calming, hey, I'm flanking. You guys can wait a little. Oh. So see, like she was up there, right? So this is really unfortunate. Oh, someone asked, I wonder if Riot employees get a employee discount on Riot products in game.
No, we sometimes get we get some points when we start off and for special occasions. And like right now I'm in an internal tournament, so everybody gets a participation award for Valve points. For League, we get like a regular amount of money in our account every month. But for Valo, it's like a lot more.
Think about like retakes in this way. Before the spike gets planted, you're playing like on the defense, right? You're trying to prevent them from getting onto site for free. But once the spike gets planted, now your roles have reversed. Now you guys are the ones attacking this site. But something you can even do easily is just like if this turret starts shooting, you pop this molly, right? And what happens when you pop the molly? What do people tend to do? They run straight or they run backwards. Right? They panic. And let's say you play it on top of lane right here and you swing off of that. But sometimes what mollies are great for is separating like enemies apart. For example, like when we talked about raise nades, like let's say when people are coming out and you perfectly time it, then some duelists are out, but then there's like people still kind of like stuck, and that's when you can pick them apart before they can even come out. Here's the OP thing about Killjoy. People, once they start to like realize where you're placing your mollies, they'll tend to like know where it is and avoid it, or they'll just shoot it, or they'll just still run through it and like whatever, like they don't give a crap, like they'll just kill you. Instead of trying to get kills with the molly, think of it as a way to separate a duelist from like the rest of their team. For instance, you can also think of it as a way to funnel them into a certain spot on the site. So for instance, if we place like an alarm bot here, once you pop these two, the third, fourth, fifth people that are trying to get on site, they're gonna run this way because they're avoiding it. Because you know that, because people, like sane people, won't stand in the molly and just take free damage, right? Because you know that maybe you can even like tuck in here and like get this angle, right? You don't even need to swing right the whole time. You can use it as a way to actually gain info for yourself by process of elimination. By the time my mollies are hitting all of lane, they're probably all waiting here, or they're pushing out boathouse, or they're pushing out stairs.
10 seconds left.
Nice.
No.
Oh, pistol.
Triple.
One enemy remaining.
Nice.
Sad.
Uh,
Gosh, thank you.
So there, after the pick on the raise, what do you think enemy team's doing?
Rotating over to B.
Okay, so where do you think people are playing by this point? I want you to try to think critically about like reading the map.
Yeah, I would say there's likely a chance that somebody's playing on site, like deep on A anymore. Maybe there's somebody more likely to be like tree or heaven, and then maybe like one mid, one B.
Yeah.
If there's one on B, yeah, still.
Because usually, like what I see a lot in high elo, it might not look the same in lower elo. The most common setup, right? It's like a 2-1-2 setup, right? And we kind of covered this too. 2-1-2, right? If one guy decides to push out, then what happens is if this guy that pushed out manages to clear all of this, then the other side player on B knows that B is clear, and now they could either shift over to mid and fight mid together if top mid was spotted. If not, they could just early rotate over to A. But because this guy died pushing, they need to have at least one person staying B, right? And you do have your ult here, and you might think, okay, using my ult here would be good too, right? Just because I have it. But most likely they're gonna send more people over here, especially if you cut sound. Then they're gonna have to use some form of utility, like probably a drone or like a dart, to try to clear this out, right? To see if you guys are still pushing out on B.
Yeah.
And so what this actually lets you guys do is group really quickly over to A, and then you guys can either walk out or just explode on contact. If you see someone, then you guys just all run out, kind of like catching them off guard.
Whereas using the ult at this point would just indicate that we are intending to go A.
So at this point, you gotta run out.
Oh, we
Lucky that you guys got Molly.
Well, that's straight.
All good, honestly. That wouldn't have happened if we waited a little longer for the cat player to also come. I think just even like without ulting, you guys could have just all gone out.
Two.
Should we go in?
3 to mid.
This is about to go down.
Yeah, I wanted to go while they were fighting, but I couldn't see anything. So
I think it was good discipline.
Okay.
So at this point, you know, side's clear.
One more. Three.
Or, I mean, they could be hell. Or
most
heaven,
likely,
but
yeah.
I like this
Coming out.
crossfire.
Outdoor.
Submit a
And
spare
then-
control.
He's on site.
GG.
Wow, that was so informative. I'm glad this is recorded too.
Yeah, you guys can definitely
There's,
go back and look
so
at
much-
it.
So many tips.